Do you, when you look at cameras or pictures or videos, start judging people's backgrounds?
Oh yeah, you can judge the crap out of mine because it is
Yeah, no,
not
I
what
am
it's all
right now
about.
because you said you had a Ren Fair costume back there, and so
Yeah, that that
my
guy.
first question was back into Ren Fair, huh? And you're like, no, my mom gave it to me, and I guess my question is, you just keep Ren Fair costumes just kind of hanging out?
No, it's just for some reason when I moved here 5 years ago, I brought it with me, and I haven't been to the. I used that costume like 8, 9 years ago. So it's been a minute, and I brought it with me, and I tried to give it back to my mom the other week. I was like, "Here you go, mom." She's like, "Oh no, that's yours." I'm like, "I don't want it. Take it."
Can you sell it?
I probably could. I mean, it's a decent quality costume.
I mean, like Ren Fair. When you talk about Ren Fair, people go all out. They spend a ton of money on that.
Oh, they do. It's a funny story. So my cousin is getting married Labor Day weekend, and we just had her bridal shower, and it was Halloween themed because she's that kind of girl. So we're all in costumes, and my sister didn't have anything, and my mom's like, "Oh, you can borrow a leather corset that I bought at a Ren Fair because she had a couple glasses of mead and thought a $700 leather corset was a good purchase."
Ren Fair, okay. Ren Fair and Civil War reenactors to me are kind of like same. Only to me, Ren Fair has more to offer. And hear me out on this.
Okay.
Because I had a buddy who was into Civil War reenacting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he spent all the money on the muskets that
Yeah.
he couldn't shoot real bullets out of.
Yeah.
And I think he was a Union soldier, so he bought his Union
Okay.
uniform.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not regulation now. You can't wear that and be taken seriously as a soldier.
No. You want
That was from
to?
150
Go
years
on.
ago.
Yeah. Funny story. So we're in London, we're in a cab, and this guy's like, "Oh, you're American." So he's telling us how much he loves America and yada, yada, yada. And then he tells us that he is a Civil War reenactor in England. I'm like,
In England?
yeah, I'm like, you guys weren't even part of that war.
Oh, this one's. Wait, hold on. I got to get an English accent. Right over here in London. This one's for the Union.
Yes. And
We're
how
going
much
to
he
take down
loves.
the Confederates.
Yeah, and he was not that he was pro-Confederate, but he loved the Confederate statues, and he was
Okay.
telling us. Yeah, I was like, that's kind of weird. Like that's like a really bad part of our history. But
You're
all
like,
right, bro.
yeah, hey, you don't come over here and talk about that like that here, like you do in England. That doesn't translate the same. I know we both speak English, but tone is a thing.
Yeah, and he was like, when I heard you guys were taking all those statues down, I really wanted to ask my wife if we could get some for the garden. And I'm like, no.
No, don't do that.
It was the funniest thing. I was like, wow, that's
Don't
so
do
odd.
that.
Yeah.
We're just I'm gonna leave that one there. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, where I was going with that was my buddy who did
Sorry.
the Civil War reenacting spent thousands on
Oh
gear
my
that
god.
serves no practical application. At least at a Ren fair, I'm assuming they have a blacksmith at a Ren fair too.
Yes.
Okay, like I've done the Scottish games and stuff like that. Like the
Mm-hmm.
tents and stuff that they have set up, that's practical application stuff. I've got a buddy that lives in Alaska right now that's a blacksmith that he picked up stuff like that, like the legit hammering on the thing. Like it's a whole thing that
Mm-hmm.
he likes to do. You know, when I went and saw my buddy do a Civil War reenacting, it was like a whole bunch of people hanging out and kind of having a picnic, and then they all sort of set up and they're like charge, and they're like pew 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 pew, and then people are like, oh, I
Yeah.
died, and you're like, but you're not really dead. I know you're not dead because I can see you breathing.
Yeah, it's LARPing to the extreme. I would consider the war reenactment, but I'm like, but they have fun. I mean,
Right. And that's where I was going to
you
go
know,
next was I'm not going to talk too much crap because every single day for fun, I'm a trained dog. I've trained myself to be a dog. I go and I throw my own Frisbee and then I chase it down. I pick it up. I get excited when I get to put it where it belongs. And then I go do it all over again. I trained myself to be a dog. So I can't really talk ill about Civil War reenactors or Ren Fair people other than my stuff is new.
ish.
I don't know.
That's pretty funny. Trained dog.
Hey, so the Olympics are rounding the corner right now. We're getting ready to shut this
Mm-hmm.
thing down here in a little bit. Is
Mm-hmm.
there an Olympic sport, and we'll cover winter and summer Olympics. Is there a legit Olympic sport that you think right now you could step in and actually compete? Because something like 40% of Americans think that they're currently fit enough to compete in the Olympics. And I can't stop laughing at that.
I think the number's so high because you get so jazzed for the Olympics. You know what I mean? Like it's such you get amped for it.
Like
You know?
every 4 years, we're the biggest gymnastics fans in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Okay.
I can tell you all about it. I couldn't do it, you know.
Are you
But I could
invested in
tell you I
gymnastics
could.
right now?
Oh yeah. I mean, the rhythmic gymnastics just started. I love me some, the ribbon and the balls.
I do like the ribbon, and I like playing around with the ribbon when people are watching. It's a fun, like, look, I'm in the
Yeah.
Olympics.
But like logistical or like legitimately, if I could do something, it would be the speed walking. I don't know why that's an Olympic sport now, but I got you. I could do that. My PE teacher would be so proud.
There's a movie called Are We There or Are We Done Yet with Ice Cube and
Mm-hmm.
John C. McGinley, I think is his name, the guy that played Dr. Cox in Scrubs.
Okay.
He is the town's realtor, electrician, general contractor, health inspector, and he was an alternate on the 1982 men's power walking team. And so at the end of the movie, this isn't a spoiler alert because it's an old movie. At the end of the movie, Ice Cube's wife goes into labor, and and he's also the town medulla, right?
Oh, of course.
So he's calling this guy because he's the medulla, and John C. McGinley is doing his Olympic power walk. He's like, I already knew she was in labor. I'm power walking right now. Be there in 12 minutes.
I like how he has it like timed. He's like, because he lives in that town, he knows exactly like what route is how
But
long for his speed
it's what you were
walking.
talking about earlier too, because his arms are high in the air and he's doing that weird like shifting left and right and doing the pumping.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
thing.
It is. I remember my PE teacher, Miss Paris, like when she taught us how to speed walk around the block in our elementary school. Man, her arms were up high and she was going for it.
Oh yeah, no, you go for gold or silver or
You
bronze.
really do.
Yeah.
It's just so funny.
Okay, so you think you can do speed walking?
Yeah. What about you?
We go 2 here.
Okay.
I think that I could be a medaled Olympic athlete in either the sport of curling
Mm-hmm.
or the sport of fencing.
If I had to choose between the two of them, I see you more curling because I've seen your sweeping action and it's pretty up there.
No, I sweep.
Yeah, you sweep well.
I sweep at the best of them. But I was watching fencing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a pretty strong lunge squat.
Mm.
And when I disc golf, when I putt, my back leg does that little kick out, like that little And so
It's still called putting in disc golf?
Yes.
It's called putting still?
There's putters in disc golf. I have putting discs and driving discs and mid-range discs. And if disc golf was an Olympic sport, I couldn't compete because I'm not that good. But I am good at fencing, I think. I've never done it before. But I watch what they do, and the sword doesn't hurt. And I like the sound it makes when it whips through the air. And then
It's a pretty good sound.
Yeah. And then all you're doing really is looking for an opening and then jabbing.
You just want to stay on guard. That's what you want to do.
That too. I do want to say that. I forgot about that. I forgot about on guard.
Mm-hmm.
But I could do that thing where they like bring it down. They're like, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? In Star Wars, when Darth Vader took off his head and he just brought his lightsaber down like this, right? And he's like, right?
Okay. Got you.
I could do that.
I think you should. I think a fencing club needs to hit you up and you to join the team.
Is there a fencing club in Stockton? Let me Google that real quick. I thought there was a fencing club in Stockton.
I mean, I know wasn't there a curling club that you tried to join too in the Central Valley back in the day?
Yeah, they didn't want me. Yeah, the Delta Fencing Center.
All right, Delta Fencing Center.
They open at 12 p.m. Saturday. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Delta Fencing Center, let me come show you guys how to fence.
Oh my God, please do it. And if you do it, can we record it? Because I would love for you to be like, I got this. And everyone's like, and then you just lose within seconds.
It needs to be. Oh my goodness. I would totally do this.
That would be so funny.
Okay. I'm going to reach out.
You do it. I'm here for it.
I did jujitsu like 6 months ago. Have you ever been flipped over somebody's shoulder?
No, and no, thank you. No,
it's not as bad as you think. The way that they do it,
Really?
I don't know if jujitsu's an Olympic sport. I'll have to look that up. But
Taekwondo is.
that's right. Okay. When they flip you over their shoulder, it's actually a pretty controlled movement. So when they bring you over and they drop you down, it's almost like a gentle drop. And then when you drop down as the person who got flipped over, you have to slam your hand on the mat too. And it's a whole thing that like once you get into it, there's a whole rhythm to it that's actually kind of beautiful. I'll never use that word again. Yeah. So yeah, so I think if that's an Olympic sport, I think I could do that too. Curling, fencing, and jujitsu, but only if you get to medal by getting flipped over somebody's shoulder, not flipping somebody over their shoulder, because I can't do that yet.
Ooh, another one that I could totally do if I practice more, archery. I love me some archery.
Did you watch some of the archery this time around?
Mm-hmm. So good. So good.
Do you know the mechanics of the bow? Because I was watching it too, and they had that long stick with like that suction cup off the end.
So that's to create more balance because the bows that they use are very lightweight because it's mostly made out of carbon. So it's just to create more balance for you when you are aiming.
Okay. Have you ever shot a bow and arrow before?
I do. I actually have a bow.
Do you really?
I do.
Like a compound like bow or like just a bow and a string?
The recurve, so the bow and the string, where you have to like. I remember I haven't done it in years, but you have to like put your legs in a certain way to string it and de-string it because you take it apart when you put it back in its box.
So you have like a legit bow and arrow.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
I had one too from Kmart when I was like 12, but like a legit one, but it was like the starter legit one. So it was like a big red plastic bow and a string, and that was it. Yeah.
I totally like when we were really into it, which was like over a decade ago. I really, really, really wanted a crossbow, and I think Jake was very smart to not get me a crossbow because I probably would have hurt myself with that.
I've never tried it, but I think Dick's Sporting Goods will let you try out the bow. I think they have rooms for them to try them out.
Yeah, I totally want to try one out. They look so much fun.
The next time you come through the valley, I want to meet you at Dick's Sporting Goods, and I want to see you try out one of their bow and arrows.
Let's do it. I'll wear my Daryl Dixon shirt, and we will just get this done.
No idea who that is, but cool.
Walking Dead. He's the one who carries a crossbow.
All right, guys, we have Everclear tickets coming up on the radio side of things. If you want to win Everclear, they're going to be at the Gallo Center for the Arts. That show is going to be tomorrow, actually. We are going to have your tickets in 24, 34, 44, 20, 33 minutes.
Awesome.
Everclear tickets. We'll see you back here in a little bit, guys.
Bye.